guys, I'm Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today's video I want to talk about how many times I've changed my mind, how I learned to make decisions. I feel like in the past, this was especially true with like when I was deciding if I wanted to stay in a relationship or not. It really took me a lot of time to really I would go back to partners constantly. I just never really wanted to give up because I don't know, I just felt like it was a lot to find something new, and I'm like, we can make this work. But I think sometimes when you're forcing something to work, and you're not being totally honest with what you actually want your life to be, that can be a challenge. So for me, for instance, like I'm reorganizing my home today. I keep revising this. There's times where, okay, so I have my TV right here. There you go. And it was on a black stand that is now underneath in my kitchen, underneath like a black kind of countertop I added to my kitchen. I'm gonna actually do a bit of a house tour. I'm gonna do a longer edition of this because I think it's important. There's my steaming cleaner. I'm cleaning today too. I'm cleaning, I'm reorganizing, I'm getting stuff out of my space, and I'm gonna have a zone where I can sell stuff. Over here you can see my pile of cards. I'm getting ready to let those go because I've had some time away from them, and they don't bring me joy like they used to. The thing is, my life has been very hermity, but also in home, and I do like to do things outside, and I like to be outside. And some of these activities that I have, like the crafts, the cards, they keep me sitting. And I do think being a crafty girl when I was younger, like I feel like that was like a way to keep us busy, and I enjoyed being crafty, but it's the creative part too. Now, the ways I'm changing in my life to be more crafty is I want to get better at making my food. So I don't know how to cook meat yet. I don't know how to season meat yet. When I was younger with the kids, I was really good at making meals for us, but it wasn't like it was good at, they were healthy. I was good at baking stuff. I was good at desserts. But I can no longer have those items in my life right now, especially. So, well, I am going to be starting my that's peanut. I'm starting my proteins and food items back to basics, where I'm just starting with my proteins again, meaning meats. I'm just really focusing on like chicken, ground beef. I like steak, but I don't like the chewy bits of steak, and it's very expensive. So there are times when I would really focus on getting ribeye because it had that fatty aspect to it, which I'm not so focused right now. Hamburger meat can be the same, and actually I'm thinking I have an issue with my digestion right now, and that can be part of my issues. And so I'm focusing on getting more digestive enzymes into my life. So I'm going to be doing apple cider vinegar before I eat. I'm also going to be adding sauerkraut, and I'm looking at kefir. And even though, yes, it is a dairy, and I moved away from the dairy because dairies still have sugar, because of the fermentation process, it filters out the sugar, from what I understand. So I'm going to try that out. And because I think I've been eating so healthy, and even when I got I went in about a year, maybe 2 years by now, to get like a endo and a colonoscopy done, and he's like, no, everything looks fine. I'm like, well, everything isn't fine. I'm exhausted, and so what I'm coming back now to those digestive enzymes, because I've also Googled something where it says you can be allergic to, not allergic, but you might not be able to digest sucralose and the proteins, certain proteins, right? You may be having trouble digesting like sugars, but also like the protein in dairy. And so that, because I'm like, there are people out there enjoying dairy and having sugar, and while I'm working on refining my cravings for those items, I feel like I should still be able to enjoy them, because I see other women older than me that aren't bloated. I'm not watching them eat, but they look like they're enjoying all the different foods, right? In moderation. But like, there's a lady I watched, I think it's like Savannah's Kitchen or something. She makes very basic, easy, but very tasty looking food, right? And it's different in nature. Like, it looks like it's going to taste good. It's different stuff, but she makes it really approachable, and it looks easy to make. And obviously, like, it's not just the making. You have to be able to shop, and you have to be able to afford. And so these are things I'm looking at, like, it's where I want to go to. It's my goal in food. I want to be able to make food that I like eating. I love making homemade tomato soup and roasted red peppers. I want to try making fire roasted tomato sauce. Like, these are things I love eating, and I want to get back to that. but I'm still having issues with bloating. And so I'm like, I haven't been doing my digestive enzymes. And what I Googled, it's like, you can't see if there's bad bacteria if you get a colonoscopy, from what I understand. Like, they can do different things, like take different cultures and things, but and whatever specimens, or I don't know the terms, I'm not a doctor, but there are things that can go unchecked, I guess, for you can't see unhealthy gut. And so I think I went with that diagnosis of like nothing's wrong, like you don't have SIBO, you don't have like your stomach acids are fine, like there's no red alerts in there. But I think sometimes when you get those, we don't realize like there's other stuff that they can't see, and it's unfortunate. I wish some of these doctors would kind of branch off into other areas as they get more comfortable in their own area, so they can see like, well, let's look into this. Like, no one ever told me to look into anything. They just said we didn't find anything, period, close your file. Like, but I'm still bloated. I'm still bloating when I eat completely healthy food. That is a problem, right? And if you've been on this sort of journey, this health kick, where you're just trying to get healthy so you can like live a basic life, like you can relate to this frustration of like, you're trying to find out information for health, but like a lot of the answers, like when I had depression, the answers that they gave me was not helping my depression. They wanted to give me pills, and it's not, for me, in my opinion, that's not how you get rid of depression. I know there could be some sort of scientific aspect there, but like I was living a shitty life and I'm miserable. So that's why I'm depressed, because I feel stuck in a situation that I don't know how to get out of. So to me, I had to develop life skills and healthy habits so I don't fall into that sadness of a lifestyle. That's just me, in my perspective. I've been wrong. I could be wrong again, but that's just what I am focusing on for myself. So now I'm at the point where I am looking at not only like that, I'm coming back to the digestive enzymes, because I did touch on it when I was researching. Yeah, so that's where I'm moving forward now with my diet. I'm trying out kefir. I've made a sauerkraut previously. I just never ate it. And I think sometimes when you get in a situation like, well, do I really need to do that though? Like, do I need to go that far? Is that serious? Yeah, it's that serious. If you want what you want, you have to do certain things. And I can get there where I'm like, well, I think this is good enough. And it's like, well, it's not good enough. If you really want what you want, then you're going to have to. And I think it's sometimes this is kind of like skipping steps, like thinking that like you can enjoy those foods, but you haven't fixed the digestion. And so even though I've improved the way I'm eating, if my digestion is still not, if my digestion is out of track or out of function, then like it doesn't matter what I eat. If I'm not fully 100% absorbing those nutrients that I'm fully 100% ingesting, right? So I think that's important. That's what I'm going to try. Like I said, I just don't have the doctors, and I don't always have the patience to be going around. Like, unfortunately, I wish there was a doctor out there that has dealt with like emotional and mental abuse and the side effects of that, like physical side effects of that. So like, what I am just sharing what I have experienced and what has helped with me, because I haven't had any answers from the doctors that I've been in touch with, unfortunately. And I know there are some good doctors out there. I just haven't experienced a lot of great ones that have a holistic approach to why certain things are happening within me when there is no black and white evidence of certain things, right? And so, and if this works, I will be putting something together about what I did and what worked and what isn't working. So like, be sure to follow along, because whenever I find something that helps me, because you know what, I'm like, am I insulin resistant? Am I diabetic still? Because like, I'll have cravings and I'll give into those cravings, and I'll feel like shit, and I'll get feverish. I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and then I feel like shit, and I start bloating. And if I eat too much sugar, because I've just had that, and this is where it's like, I don't think I can go without sugar for long terms in that way, because it's like I want to live my life, and it's not like the way it was before, where I'm coping with these sugary, dairy, refined carb foods. But it is where the direction I'm moving, I would like to be able to still enjoy them, and I don't want all these altered, weird, like, I mean, stevia is not bad because it's a plant, but I just want to be able to eat a lemon meringue piece of pie and one piece of that pie be okay. And I'd just like to have one piece of cheesecake and really enjoy that cheesecake and sit and savor with it. So another thing I'm also looking at is slowing down how I eat and enjoying my food and making sure I'm chewing it properly as well, because I know I don't do that. Sometimes I just want to get it over with because I'm not really enjoying my food, but I think there's also something in there where I want to make food that I enjoy as well. So I do think that's the direction I'm currently going to be moving in somehow. I am growing my garden. If you saw the previous video, like I'm trying to grow a lot of my food because I feel like a lot of our food is poisoned as well. And then I can control what's in the soil and add to it to get those vitamins. So I'm learning about that as well. I don't know. I'm just learning as I go. It's a hit and miss. I don't understand all of this. You know, I have losses, I have gains. And so today I'm also looking at revising my space again because I'm like, okay, you know, my living space is a big part of me because it's where I work from. It was where I relax and de-press from, and it's meant to be my safe space. And so for me, I like to make it where when I look around, it's very aesthetically pleasing and it's soft, but it's fun and it's light, and that's kind of the lifestyle I also want as well. But I want to set it up so it's easy to clean, so the work aspects to it are efficient and easy, so it doesn't feel so heavy like it has in the past. And so I'm also looking at, like, moving forward, what do I need to do to make this place really feel like my home, like I'm actually going to stay here. And so it's organizing, and I'm going to do a house tour and I'll show you what I did and why I did it. But it's also looking at, like, you know, I'm deciding to stay here, so I'm going to have to renovate some of this space because the basement is not okay, and I'll do a video about that. It's not okay. And I just have a number of things, like this house needs a lot of love and a lot of work, and I feel like if I can get in that direction of getting my body fueled up, then that's gonna be better. And I also have to realize, like, there are times when I just go way too hard in the yard, and I don't have the building blocks of my physical functioning in the way that I need to do. You know, I'm not focusing on building my arms, building my abs, building my legs. Like, it's kind of like out of alignment. It's like all sporadic, sort of. I have to move rocks to the front yard, so I'm moving rocks to the front yard, and I am trying to be aware of, like, what, obviously not the body part I'm using, but there are times when if I haven't done the sit-ups before, like, I feel like I don't do enough core work, and so I lose my posture when I'm doing the hard yard work. And so there's some sort of foundational focus I need to take into toning and building those muscles before I overdo it in the yard, because eventually, like, I do want to be able to, you know, be a workhorse in the yard. I feel good when I do it. It's just my body is not, I haven't prepared my body for that type of work. Like, well, I have been, like, doing it. It's like the recovery time in between each sort of project or go at it is taking me way too long to recover. And so while I am building my muscles, I also need to revise, like, I need to build alignment. So not just being, like, muscular, but I also want to make sure I'm in you know, my posture is healthy. Make sure that I'm not working so hard that I'm taking so many days to rest on the couch where now my shoulders and neck are feeling it from the work, but also my bad posture of laying on the couch for too long. So these are all things that I'm just kind of going on up here as I'm going forward in my action. And so yeah, one of the things is, like, I decided I enjoy cards. I just don't really have a lot of similar beliefs anymore that are associated with that area in the cards. I think there's a lot of helpful information in the cards, but I didn't learn it through the cards. It's things I had to pull myself through. And so I think sometimes you can be told something, you know, like, oh yeah, just stay positive, but, like, it's very different when you're in the action of what that means. So, like, when I have to stay positive, it means I have to actually process the pain, get sad, get frustrated, understand why I'm experiencing this, what can I do to get out of this, or like improve the situation so I don't no longer have to keep, like, being frustrated. So sometimes that means I have to I have to slow down my reactions and get into my mind before the emotions and be like, okay, you've done this before, this is the same as this is the same as this, you're gonna be okay. You just gotta give yourself a rest, go get a snack, take a break if you want, do a puzzle, like, take yourself out of it and then come back, because you've given yourself a break, a brain break, right? And so yeah, I think that's also, and in this process I'm learning more about what I want, what I don't want, and what is okay and what is not okay. And I think before I had all these grand ideas about what I wanted in my home and all these, you know, I mean, I still want a big ass greenhouse or sunroom, whatever you want to name it, off the back of my house. Would I love my pool to be inside of that? Yes, I would. Do I need a big pool? No, I do not. Would I like a hot tub in there? Yes, I would. Would I like a lounge area with a firewood place out stove, wood stove? Yes, I would. Well, before I wanted to put a kitchen out there, but I can leave my kitchen where it is because I'm like, I just went over my kitchen and I have empty. I think my kitchen is too small, but then I'm like, my kitchen has empty cupboards. So how is it too small? And so what I did there is I just reassessed my counter space because I like to have room to work. And so now I'm also looking at where I have behind me, behind this wall, I have 3 shelves or 2 shelves, and then the black unit that I had underneath the TV. And there's still so much space. So like, I don't even need the shelves on the wall, which means I can eventually put and I do want an island. I still want an island. I'm gonna sit at an island. I'm gonna work at an island. The island is gonna allow me to work while I watch my, my shows on TV. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone. So I'm feeling like I'm doing my work, but I'm still playing, kind of thing. I don't know that I have to always be in silence while I'm working. I don't think I have to get totally away from all social media and all those things. I just need to revise it so it doesn't have such an impact and have control over me. And that's what I'm doing. I'm moderating my life. So that's, it's interesting because you go back and forth. If you've been following me for a while, I go back and forth with the cards. I've like kind of like this. But it's interesting. When I go do the cards, they give you clarity, but they give you confusion. And to be honest, I feel like I've got so many interesting things I want to do in life and learn, and I'm just kind of feel like, I'm just kind of, you just kind of grow. I just grew out of it. I think I just grew out of it. There's so many beautiful messages in these cards. Don't get me wrong, but it's extra and it's kind of filler. And I feel like I had a situation that was very, like a lot of people have experienced what I've been through. So all these cards tell me this and this and that, and all. It's kind of got me all over the place, my energy all over the place. Where it's just like, I would rather focus on making videos where it's like, this is when this happens, I do this. When I feel like this, I do this. When I experience depression, this is what I found helped me. Like what helped me is and to be honest, those cards, if you look at them, the majority of them were like brand new. I didn't really use the cards. I used a couple decks. I found it helpful, but if I just sat in it, I never relied on the messages of the decks because I'm like, that's crazy. And because like, even when I used to rely, I'd be like, let's see how this turns out, and then it didn't turn out to what it. So I'm like, how reliable is this? Well, there are messages within the cards that are helpful. The cards themselves aren't really that helpful, and it got to the point where it just felt heavier than helpful. And so now I also am clearing. I had these cupboards behind me, and like that's, to me, I'm really planting seeds to like when I get to the point when I can have an island in there, because the feeling of having that in there is going to feel really nice for me in here. It's going to open up this space. It's small, but I think it's going to make it really cozy. And then I was also trying to figure out, like, because I was finding out this morning, like, how can I make this kitchen bigger? And I'm like, I could knock out this wall, I could knock out that wall, and I don't mind doing that work, as long as there's stuff I know I can't do. And there's a lot of stuff I can do, the physical manual labor. I've been out in my yard. I'm a workhorse. I can get and go for days at a time where I just, you know what I mean? But that's not what I want, right? I had to think, what am I going to do here? What am I getting from moving these walls and moving the bathroom over into a bedroom? I'm getting a bigger bathroom, but it's not really that big. And what do I do in the bathroom? You know what you do in the bathroom? Your shower or your shit. And I'm just like, I'm not one of those girlies that are sitting there doing facials and cleaning my face. I mean, maybe I should do more cleaning of my face. I just clean it in the shower, or I run some water over it. I don't have a skin regime, and maybe later I will, but I can still, the bathroom is big enough for me to have my skin routine. I think there are so many ways to make a small space work properly, and what I'm realizing, there's still a lot of shit that I have in my house that I just do not use. And there are times that I'm not using certain things because I just don't have the energy, because I was recovering, right? And so like, as I get more time to get into action and do the things that I love, and I be more social, I'll put myself together, and maybe I'll wear more makeup, and maybe I'll put nail polish on and stuff like that, maybe at that time. But like, I still don't think I'm gonna need extra space. But I looked at my bedroom, I'm like, you know what, I don't like having a shower curtain because I have to clean it all the time, it gets gross. I'd rather have a glass shower door. So that would be something I would install. And then I don't have to worry about the shower bar coming down or the curtain bar coming down, and it's easier to clean. And it's more aesthetically pleasing. So those are things I'm looking to, like, I've got a tiny house. but it's big enough for me, and I still don't even have a basement that I'm using. Like, imagine when I actually can finish the basement and have, there's an extra office room down there, there's a living room, there's like a room that's meant to be an extra bathroom. But I would actually rather put the bathroom out in the garage because I'm a garden girl and I use that space out there a lot. And a lot of the mess I bring into the house is the dirt from the yard. Like, I'm always going to be in the garden. That's something I'm always going to enjoy, whether I change up like the type of plants that are low maintenance, and you know, it's still going to be work. I'm going to be out there. And so I think it would be nice to actually have a bathroom. Well, I have one downstairs. I didn't dig it down. It's just like one of those toilets on a pump, and it does not work very well. It needs to be replaced. It did not last very long. And so I still have like a tiny little sink down there that I can use in a garage bathroom, and then I can use that either down there as a tool room, because at some point I want to be done the renos and only have tools that I need to repair and maintain. So yeah, I'm just looking at how I actually really want to use this space, because it's like the amount of time you have to work to earn that money. I'm thinking like, yeah, I want to be positive and like that I'm going to be making more money, and I've learned how to really be more resourceful instead of splurging my money, so that's helpful. But I'm just thinking at things differently, what I really want, and I don't want to put my home through a whole reno. But like I said, I still want the sunroom. I still want to be outside the most of the time, even when I'm home. So like having a sunroom, I don't even know how that works. Like, can you, like, when this room, I googled 4-season sunroom, and I'm like, can this, like, I want to put my pool in there, so then I can, like, I want it open to the breeze during the sun when it's hot out, but I want to have a wood stove in there for the winter. But then I also want, like, can I swim in the winter in there? Like, is that what a 4-season sunroom can do for a pool? I don't know. I want to know. Can you imagine being able to swim all the time of the year? Then I can exercise, and that is really relaxing to just float in the water. I want to have my hot tub because I like the hot water right up to my ears. Let's be honest, I'd love to float in warm water. And then just to sit out there and enjoy a fire on a big rug with like, I got this beanbag chair. I have to wash it and repair it, but I got it at the curb, and I don't know what it is with people letting their dogs piss on people's stuff at the curb, whether it's garbage or an item that they've left out for people to take. Somebody else is gonna have to pick up that item. Stop letting your dog piss on shit. You know what I mean? Like, that is my newest pet peeve. You know, I remember my dog peed on a garbage bag, and it's at the bottom corner of the bag, and I had to think, well, the garbage man is gonna lift it by the top and throw it in there, and by the time he gets there, it's gonna be dried, right? These are people that are just letting their dogs piss on items that have been set out to the curb for somebody else to pick up. And like, I put an umbrella out there, and like, someone's dog had pissed on the umbrella. I'm like, but you know, like, the garbage man's gonna have to touch that again, right? Like, what kind of respect do you have for your fellow person? I mean, I understand people are like, that's not the first thing on their mind right now, but I don't know. It's a small detail, I guess. But so yeah, so that's and then yeah, so then I kind of want to make like a deck on the back or something. I don't know how I would do that. If I have a greenhouse, I would definitely have to have flooring and maybe a foundation, and then I'd have to move all those patio stones and put it down where I have so much grass in the backyard. If you watch my garden tour, you see like there's a bunch of grass I still don't want to walk on out there. I don't like wet grass, and when I have my coffee, herbal coffee, whatever drink in the morning, I like to have it usually back there. I don't mind up front. This is nice too, but I don't like walking. I want to have somewhere where I don't have to walk on wet grass. I like dry grass. And see, things I like and I don't like. And some people are like, that's pretty weird. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm at the point where I really don't care. This is what I want. My dogs don't like wet grass either. She's so cute. They're so cute. Tucker, and I don't know if you can see Peanut, if I have to tilt it, and Peanut. Hi. So I've got that blanket on my couch because the cushions there and there. This couch I got from, I was picking up chairs for that dining table, and those are not the chairs. I got the chairs. They're oversized, and they were really nice, but they're oversized, and I still bought them. So I'm getting better at buying things that are for my small home. I love these chairs. They're old though, so I also would like something. So with my island, I'm like I want something to sit at with those comfy, cozy chairs to sit on. But I also want these this table. I want these chairs to be like the chair I'm sitting in, but smaller. Because you know I love brunch. I love making breakfast for the ones that I love. I love making homemade orange juice. I love making pancakes. Like I have to get my body back to where I can eat these foods and make them from a healthier. Like you can make protein pancakes, you know, revise them and stuff, and just in moderation. And so like I need to get my body back to a point where I can still appreciate certain foods and digest them and still eat them. But like my muscle workouts need to be daily and you know and things like that. But the lifestyle I'm living and I want is like I want to be able to make a breakfast and sit there and enjoy with my family, you know, because that's how I love to give back is through my food and creating like a soft, comfortable space for my kids where we can, you know, be ourselves, make jokes, laugh, play games. I got a foosball table in the basement, but the basement is unfinished and that is going to be a whole project. And so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get my house finished so I can just relax and enjoy it because everyone's like, well, just enjoy it. We can like now, but I can enjoy this level here. But like the doors are needing weather stripping or something. There's way too, I'm losing too much heat and energy through the doors. Um, you know, stuff like that. And through the basement, like it's freezing and then it's humid. So like these are things I have to start with those things first. And before I can do this, I have to do this. And so I'm trying to revise and make a plan so that like when I do start the work, then I'll be like, okay, like I'm not running. I'm really, before I used to be very impulsive. I'm like, well, I need to do this and I need to do that. So I feel like I'm at the opposite end right now where I'm being like cautiously careful because I'm like, I don't want any surprises. I've had way too many surprises that were well, I mean, if I knew what I knew, they weren't really surprises. I just wasn't doing my homework or my planning. So now I'm trying to plan better. But in that plan, I need to kind of really get real with what I actually want and what I think I can get. And even like I said, like, you know what? That sunroom on the back of the house where I really would have loved to have like a big kitchen and island there. I don't think I need that. I think I can keep my main kitchen and put an island in here. You know, kind of do it in stages. I think it's like people do renovations and improvements in stages, and I understand that. But I'm just trying to think of like, for one, like what do I do to improve my house to start saving money, which is the airflow and lack of or abundance of. Um, but then also like organization. And anyways, I'm gonna do a tour. I think it'll be better explained when I do a tour. If any of you are interested, like for me, this is challenging for me because coming out of confusion and chaos, I'm trying to create calm and peace in my home. And so before, if you knew me, I would buy everything through the thrift store and I'd have stuff all over my house. I never use it. It's challenging now because like I want to have stuff, like my kids aren't really in the stage for playing games right now. Like we play games online and stuff like that, but they're not really, they don't mind crokinole. So we like to play crokinole. We do like playing foosball, but honestly, you need 4 players to make it a good game. You know, you really do. I'm sorry, but you do. There's 3 of us. I need a 4th person at some point, or they do. I don't know if they do, but I need a 4th player. So yeah, and I'm just trying to think of things like that I really don't want to get rid of, and that I really do want to kind of carry out. And those are like activities that made me feel joy in it. Like there's things I'm looking through my crafts and I have so many paints and things that I've never used. I think it'd be fun to use. I don't know if I'll ever use them. Like sometimes I think I just still have too many hobbies because I still want to exercise and play sports. That's very important. Just because I'm not doing it right now, I'm gonna want to do that. Do you see how I'm like, just because I'm planning, like I'm sports, I want to play sports 2 nights a week. That's at least, if not. Like I love soccer. There's games here that I want to get into where you can play local games and things like that. I mean, I like a pool sooner than later, but if I don't, maybe I just have to go to a local Y. I don't know. Oh. And another thing is like revising my closet. I have a very tiny closet and I have 2 dressers. And so like even getting better with like getting rid of clothes that I'm never gonna wear. Like these are never gonna fit me. This is, sometimes I just like have to recognize like, even when you get in shape and start to get toned and stuff, like my body may never fit back into those clothes again. If you saw, like I've gotten rid of a lot of clothes that I hope to fit back into because I'm like, I just don't want to be that girl anymore. I used to, like, there is a thing about dressing for the male gaze, and I'll do another video about that. Some people think it's like, oh, you're a feminist, wear what you want and dress how. I have different opinions about that. I'll do a different video, but so I had to go through my clothes and be realistic. And then there's things like do I ever, like, I have a box of lingerie and I've never worn it. I bought it for potential partners and I never got that far. So I'm like, why do I even want to have, like, do I like to be sensual and sexual? Yes, I do. Do I need that? I can do that in this black shirt. I don't need lingerie for that, you know? And I just don't even know if I want to put it on. Like, yeah, I do feel good in certain dresses when I feel good in my body. I do. So, like, there's some things where I'm like, I don't know if I want to get rid of that stuff right away. But honestly, I don't know if it's ever gonna, like, I bought it at a time where I don't know if it's gonna fit. You know, I just don't know if it's gonna fit. And I don't even know if I want to try. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's some things where you're just like, they've just really lost their importance and their center in my life. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I think, like, the further I process through my, like, getting better with knowing what I want, what I don't want, I just keep, like, I'll kind of flip flop, and finally I'll get to the point where I'm like, no, we're over this way. We don't want this anymore. I just don't want to spend time. And you're learning, like, I'd rather spend time doing this. I was overworking, doing too much. That's why it's like, with the cards are great, but a lot of the messages I have were through my experience. So by adding the cards in there, it's kind of missing the real material that I want to make. And so I felt like I was kind of in and out, side to side, like cards and then messages. And it felt like some of the cards were conflicting with some of my messages. And it just felt like I'd rather just speak about my experiences and what I learned and how I learned it. And because it felt like kind of heavy too, like, being the person who always has to be giving out affirmations, and being the person that's responsible for helping you release your emotions, and being the person that's helping you grieve. Like, I just want to tell you how to do it, and then you can go and do it, you know, kind of thing, as opposed to, like, bringing you the one through. It was that's still, like, that's kind of like where I came from, of, like, having to do everything for everyone and being exhausted. So, like, that's kind of something I'm taking off my plate, but I'm also taking it out of my space. And I'm going to be selling my crystals and stuff. I just don't care about them anymore. I'm not saying they don't have a use for some people. That's cool, but it's something I've grown out of, where they are very nice to look at, but, like, I'm trying to think of, like, my space and what I can keep in it and what I can't, and what's going to make it the easiest to dust and keep clean and organized and aesthetically pleasing. And for me, I don't want too much furniture. I don't want too much shit around here. I don't want, like, it's beautiful, but so is, like, minimalist in my approach. So it's just kind of like picking maybe my favorite ones, picking the ones that mean something to me from my journey, where, you know, some of those rocks and gemstones have, like, a little world inside of them, and that's what I really enjoyed about them, like, looking in there, and it takes you to another place. It makes me think of, like, what is that movie with the blue aliens in them? I don't know, it just makes you think, like, or, like, it makes you think of, like, Atlantis, like the idea of Atlantis, where it's like an underwater village or something like that. I don't know the details, but it makes me think of another world inside of that, and I think it's interesting to get lost in that. But at the same time, I don't need to get lost where I need all these crystals sitting around my home. Because, like I said, I have other interests. It's almost weird. Like, spirituality used to be, like, my main focus. Men used to be my main focus. And now it's just like, and other people used to be my main focus. And now I'm, like, getting more in touch with what I want and who I am and how I want to spend my time without any sort of judgment of other people. You know, I used to feel like, oh my God, I'm changing my garden around again and people are going to look at me like I'm crazy. But I'm like, it's a learning curve. I didn't know how to design a garden space. I just knew I wanted plants, and I knew I wanted privacy. And then it got to a point where, like, I'm not actually allowed to, I couldn't really, there was nowhere to really sit and enjoy the garden. So then I'm like, well, now I want a space to sit in there. And then now I'm sitting in that space and I'm realizing the view is not exactly what I want it to be when I'm sitting in that space. So it's just, I just transitioned through life, and now I'm like, I don't need as many privacy trees, because now I don't have to worry about being fake to people and saying hi to everybody. Now I can just, like, I don't get along with my neighbors, so I don't even have to worry about making eye contact and being polite and smiling to people that don't have my best interest at heart, right? So it's just kind of that. It's just kind of, you let other things go and you make room for other things, but at the same time, you also, I don't know, that's like you remove a lot. And the life I'm learning to live by is going to be more play and joy, because there is still work involved and there are still challenges, but I want to, instead of, like, sit in my emotions and cry about it, I've learned to, like, you know what? It's not that deep for me anymore. I don't care as much anymore about the people of my past. I really don't care about the people of my future if they want to treat me a certain way. It's more about safe and unsafe people and who I connect with and who I don't. There's some people where I'm friendly with and we're still not that deep, but they're not against me, right? And it may never be that deep, and that's okay. I don't. It's just you kind of connect with people and you're like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna connect further, but we can continue to connect, but we're just not. It's not. For me, I had to remove myself from people where I could tell, like, I'm very certain that you do not like me and that you're faking it to take from me. Like, that's very different than just having a casual hello with your neighbors and, so, I'm tired. So that's where I'm at today. My sleep was not very good last night. So I'm just trying to get done what I can do. And it feels good putting my house together. It feels good when you really get more certain about things and you get decisive. And I'm going to, like I said, do a house tour because, like, I just freed up. It's like I have a tiny home and I used to think I don't have any storage, but I actually have. It's so weird. Like, I have so much storage. And people are probably wondering, like, where's your stuff? And I'm like, I don't have a lot of stuff. And even the stuff I have, I'm trying to get rid of. And it's not because I think I'm moving. It's because I just don't want it in my space anymore. I don't want to clean around it. And I'd rather have an island here eventually than a bunch of cards that I really don't want to use. I enjoy the view of the cards, but like I said, it keeps me stuck. I'd rather play soccer. I'd rather go for a nature walk. I'd rather live in my life than sit at a desk with a bunch of cards pulling them for other people where I appreciate, like, if they're helpful, but, like, I can do that with my messages. And it got to a point where it felt like it was more about like everybody else and not for me. And while I enjoyed aspects, I'm like, this feels, I don't know. It's great for storytelling, but the original reason why I'm on here is to really help people change their life and not distract them from their pain. I want to get the more painful truth I could connect with and I recognize and clear away and see up close. That was the best way I've changed my life. So I think the cards and the crystals and things are kind of like fillers, kind of like energy work and things like that, and I've just grown out of them. So now I got like 200 decks. I don't know, I'd like to sell them. If you're interested, they're gonna be like $5 per deck. Like I said, most of them are brand new, and I paid at least probably $20 to $30, if not more, for some of these decks. If you're interested, let me know. I actually have typed out every deck I have, and so I'm probably I'll do a video about that as well. And I don't know where I'm gonna market. I might go on Facebook Marketplace for that. But I've got a table downstairs. I'm gonna keep them for now, and I'm gonna have a time limit on how long I'm gonna sell them for, and then I'm just gonna take them somewhere and just distribute them at all the thrift stores evenly, and they'll find who they need to find. So, if you want to do it by donation, we could also do that. I have not been putting the comments on, so I got to figure out how to put those back on so you guys can comment. But that's something I think I might do. Maybe if you guys are interested, I might do like an online auction or raffle where I'll hold up a deck and whoever's like responds first can purchase that deck. Like I said, there's 200 of them, and $5 a deck is actually a steal for these, if that's what you're into now still. And like I said, it's just not my thing anymore. I do find them helpful, but I just don't. It's just not for me. So that's what I'm gonna do. If you're interested in seeing like what I'm doing with my house and how I decide, I don't know. Some people are, some people aren't. I just like what I'm trying to document is like coming out of the abuse and moving from survival mode to thriving mode. And so I'm in transition right now. And so I'm just trying to give you guys as much information. So like when you're in the process, it's actually quite painful. And I think a lot of these things that I've experienced, if I would have got through them much sooner, and if I knew somebody who had been there and done that and then give me said advice, it would have been easier for me to move away from other things and be like, you know what, you're right about that. I don't need that anymore. And then, boom. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for in my messages and in my videos. But also so you can see it, because I feel like I haven't seen somebody do what I'm doing and really do it the way I'm doing. Like I've seen people who have built their own businesses, and maybe they are single moms, but maybe they had help from somebody else, or maybe they didn't, have the abuse that I went through, or I don't know. It would be nice to have somebody who did what I'm doing, but like tell me, how did you do it along the way? Because I'm missing a lot of the details. It makes me wonder how some people have done it. I'm not saying they haven't, but like when you can't tell me how you did something, like how you really did it, and like who was in at that time, that it's, you know, I need to know how. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, what I feel like I would have liked on the way. Um, yeah. So with that being said, I am in and out, and then I am out with the cards and the crystals, and I am looking at how I can get ready to start cleaning up my home. That'll probably happen more in the winter because I don't have any money right now. And yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. I'd love to hear from you guys when I put the comments back on, and let me know what you find helpful, and I'll do another video before then where you can comment too about the cards and stuff. So take care for now, and I'll see you in a bit.